Hello everybody. So it's been a really long day. Not gonna lie to you, it's been a long day. Yeah, none of the people I could possibly film with showed up. I'm by myself. That's how we're gonna do this.
Hold up. By yourself. Wait, social distancing.
Thank you.
So you're saying that you're by yourself?
I'm by myself, yes.
This person talking, is he a person?
Honestly, sometimes
Can he be part of the conversation?
I mean, he's pretty old. He's pretty old.
Third floor is not bad.
Third floor is pretty high up there. Third floor is.
We are doing this.
Third floor is.
We are doing this. 1320. It's now going to be called 1330. We are good doing this with my sister Sarah.
Ladies and gentlemen, my big brother Hamadi. We're still not social distancing.
You've already mentioned brother, so it's okay.
Yeah, Hamadi. Yeah, he'll be joining us, and I will be asking him some fun questions that, yeah, we talk a lot about philosophy and theology and all that stuff. So it only felt natural that we would do that. Yes, and how our minds think.
Yes.
So it only felt natural that we would do that on camera for you guys, and you can get to see his big brain and my learning brain.
Wait, my head is small. It's just the hair. Wanasema akili ni nywele.
Get out, leave. Okay, so proceed to that. You guys you know the drill. Just go watch. Go watch. Hello everybody and welcome to 1320, the coolest hangout for youth and teens. I am Sarah Keria Mudiora. Stop. This, and sitting next to me, joining me today, is my big brother. Yeah. His name is Hamadi. He's my older brother. And today we're going to have a conversation where I get to ask him questions about life, but specifically worship. Wouldn't it be really cool if I got to just ask him questions about life? Yeah. But anyway, that's for another day. Today I'm just going to ask him questions about worship. So let's get into it. Worship, as we all know. Oh, would you like to say something to the people before we start?
I noticed Raf doesn't eat a lot of these things. I eat and drink.
That's how you know we are cut from the same cloth.
I'm a foodie.
We're siblings.
I love good food.
We both eat. So yeah, today's not just gonna be me eating. So the definition of worship. What's the definition of worship? Tell us, big bro.
Allow me to read, please.
It's okay. You're old,
worship
you understand.
Is becoming aware of God's presence and responding to the awareness with devotion, dedication, and reverence.
Now, pretend I'm 5 years old.
Okay.
What is worship?
Keeping it in a descriptive manner, yeah?
To a 5-year-old?
Yeah, to a 5-year-old. Mm-hmm. You see the way your father will come into the house? Mm-hmm. Two things will happen. Mm-hmm. You'll either rejoice that he's in there, mm-hmm. But two, you'll be like, wait, dad is home. Mm-hmm. One, you'll start looking at things, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Have I bathed? Have I cleaned the house?
Has my homework been done?
Has my homework been done?
Yeah.
Yeah, you see, sort of like basic things that you are responsible of, per se, but then these responsibilities you did not choose. Mm. You actually are aware that these are things that I'm supposed to be doing. Mm. And I know I am not doing this for anyone else but because my father asks of me to do it. Yes.
Okay. That was a bit complex for a 5-year-old, but I think a 10-year-old would understand.
Wow.
It was just a little bit complex for a 5-year-old. The 10-year-old will understand.
I have we have a niece that is 3 years old.
Yes.
And recently she just told the mom that, Mom, all your friends are niggers now. I was like, wow. She's 3.
She's 3?
3 years old.
Yeah, never mind. A 5-year-old is going to understand exactly what you said. Yeah.
5-year-olds of today know a lot. A lot, yeah.
Okay. So, That's worship. We've defined worship both for those of us with big brains and those of us who are on the way to getting big brains. So, my first question is how, because you said that worship is the awareness of God, right? It's like knowing that He's there and acting accordingly, basically, yeah? How do you take that from being a thing you just do on Sundays? Because I feel like people are only aware of the Spirit on Sundays or on Tuesday prayer service or, you know, Wednesday during C2 or whatever. How do you take it from being a, when I am with other people talking about God, to this is an all the time, I worship the Lord in the way that I live type of thing? Like, how do you make it a daily thing?
Maybe to respond to that, I'll start it by this way. You see, the misconception out here is the fact that worship is music.
Yes.
Or rather, we enter into worship
When we're
through
singing.
music.
Yeah.
Because I remember while growing up, we used to hear kuna praise and worship.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm thinking, okay, praise and worship. So is there a difference? Yes, there is. Okay, fine. So what is worship? Worship is slow songs.
Mm-hmm. Worship is slow songs.
Songs has to be there, like I enter to whatever. Yes, I don't know the song well.
It's okay. It's okay.
So, and praise is ainuliwe Bwana oma Bwana ainuliwe amepewa.
yeah.
So,
and even when you're part of the praise and worship team, see the praise and worship team. But even when you're part of the music team in your church, there's the praise songs and the worship songs.
Yes.
And you're told, like I remember in school we used to be asked, okay, you have to have 3 praise songs and 1 worship song.
but then that's the misconception that the people carry, and it sort of like becomes a stereotype even to a message that is being passed on to the generations that are coming up. But then think about it this way. The definition of it is being aware of the presence of God.
Yeah.
And in that awareness, you reverence the awareness, which is we reverence God. We honor Him. We bring in respect, worship to Him, where you know He is worthy of all praise and of all honor. He is worthy of all glory. And then you realize when this awareness is there, then you respond. Yeah? Because when your dad walks into the house, you respond.
Yeah, you respond.
You don't react. You respond. Like when dad used to get into the house, you'll hear hodi hodi, and you're like, bashkamo, bashkamo. Okay, that is baba shikamo and hi dad, or you know, I can't give you the whole description of shikamo.
Yeah, we
allow
don't
me
have
not
time
to
for that. Yes.
get there. Yes. But then you respond, meaning when we walk in the streets, you are aware that
God.
yeah, and let me make it a little bit convicting, if I was to put it
a
that
little more
way.
spicy.
Sure. There's a time I entered a tuk-tuk, and this guy was complaining of the sun being hot,
As Custodians
or
do.
it is dusty. So I asked the question, in your entire life, I asked it in Swahili.
Your entire
Kwa
life.
maisha yako yote wewe, direct translation. Kwa maisha yako yote hujawahi tupa karatasi. Have you ever thrown a sweet wrap outside? Have you ever thrown a bottle that is empty outside? And this guy said yes. Then I told him, you are contributing to the global warming of this world.
Yeah.
And he was like, but you know, no.
No, you are.
No excuses. Meaning, this guy, when you walk into the streets and you have that sweet wrap,
Rapper.
and you look at it and you're like, I can't trash it here because I am supposed to take care of
The environment.
you are aware that God said take care of the environment. Meaning,
Yes.
when you look at this, when you finish drinking your water, allow me to walk out of the frame so that I can show you a good example. This is a bottle of Minute Maid.
Yes.
We are not advertising Minute Maid. It's just
If you
a
want to
drink we
sponsor
love
us,
to
sure.
drink.
Sure. Thank you.
Yeah. But then we finished this.
Yeah, we have.
It's easy for me to walk in the streets. I've finished drinking this and
just throw
trash it.
Yeah.
The interesting bit is when I trash it and there are no trees growing, I've already spoiled the environment. It means because plastic does not decompose.
Yeah.
Yeah. It means I have no fear of God inside of me. I have no awareness of God.
And what He's created.
Exactly, and the commands that He has given to me to take care of this world. It means I am destroying. So basically, that is a description of worship in simple
That
words.
was perfect. Oh my gosh, that was
Yeah.
perfect. I care about the environment very much. I talk about it a lot. So to have, my big brother, Anyway, so that is how you. That is one of the ways to worship, right? Now, there's a lot of times when it comes to being a Christian, there's always this sort of, it's just, sometimes there's an us versus them mentality, yeah? But sometimes that us versus them thing is real, it's true. And a lot of times you'll find that in the way that we interact with the world and the way that we interact with God. So when it comes to worship and when it comes to being constantly aware of God's presence, right? How do you avoid all the other many voices that are speaking to you, all the other many voices, like the voices that tell you, you just throw it, it's not a big deal. The voices that tell you, and this is, I think it's for everybody, but the voices that tell you you're not beautiful or handsome enough because you don't look like this, or you don't go to the gym, or you're not this skin color, so you're not beautiful enough. The voices that tell you you're not cool enough because you don't have this, or you don't do this, or you don't go to this school. The voices that tell you you're not intelligent enough because you don't go to this school, or you haven't gone here, you haven't been there. And those voices all inhibit our way of worshiping God, because worship is such a personal thing. And so if you haven't kind of settled within yourself and accepted that this is who you were created to be, then you're not able to give him the worship he deserves, because you don't think that he's worthy, technically speaking, yeah? So how do you quiet those many voices telling you, no, no? How do you quiet those voices?
It's easy for me to say you need to switch off the voices that try to switch off your worship. It's easy for me to say that.
Super easy.
But then, picture it this way. We are all in an identity forming journey. Yeah? But that identity forming journey has a basis. Yeah? Like before this cup was made, there was a foundation. There was a basis for it. And the basis of life as it is right now is to identify to whom we worship. And currently, as a Christian, I would say I identify with God. I worship God. What does the Bible say? I was made in the image and likeness of God. Meaning, in his image and in his likeness, he had plans already. Yeah? He created me and gave me specific responsibilities. As man was created, he was told to take dominion over the earth, take care of the environment, etc., etc. But also later on, after the fall of man, he was also given another responsibility to go and multiply. Yeah? These are things that are basic.
Yeah.
But then each person has their own journey they walk in and all that. And in this journey, if our basis is not in the word as per se, then it's easy for us to be swayed in to anything else by the voices of this world, the voices that try to silence our worship. There are many times you sit around and you're like, I'm tired of reading the Bible. Okay, fine, it's okay, you're tired of reading the Bible. But when did that start? Basically, you might be thinking, I read the Bible, yes, but there are many knowledges out here, right? There's many information out here that I can go and seek, and those information can be voices that silence your worship. Like, get rich quick.
Get rich quick, yeah.
Because recently I see YouTubers who are teenagers and 10-year-olds and 5-year-olds who are making a lot of money. And it's easy for me to ask myself, what am I doing with my life?
Yeah.
Voice number one. It means you take yourself as not worthy enough. Mental health kicks in. Depression kicks in. You think like your life has no meaning. But going back to the basic. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans
I have for you.
that I have for you. Yeah? Plans to prosper you and not to harm you. Plans to give you hope and a future. And this basis comes from the story of the Israelites who are told, it was prophesied that they will be captives in a foreign land for a certain number of years. And they were given specific instructions. That, hey, when you go here, build houses, open businesses, put it in our modern day. We are in COVID-19, my friend. There's a story of a pastor that I'm familiar with, and I believe we are friends. He was locked in Nairobi, and he has a church in Mombasa.
Yeah.
And somehow in Nairobi he started a church.
Wow.
You're like, okay, fine. Your home is in Mombasa. Your church is in Mombasa. Your office is in Mombasa. But you still opened church in Nairobi. You started afresh. It means this person was not stopped to reach out. Because the mission is still the same. Go ye into the whole world and make disciples of all nations.
And his calling is still the same.
Exactly.
Which is to
Meaning
preach.
he's still in the world teaching the gospel. The question is, once you come to that understanding and identification that, hey, this is what God has called me to, this is what God expects of me to do, then I stick to it. Even when these voices come to in, I refer back to the basis. What is my basis telling me?
Yeah.
Yeah? It is in that point where you realize that, hey, we need to silence the voices that try to silence our worship.
That was so good. Wow.
Glory
so
to
smart. One day I'll get there. Right now I think.
I'm finishing.
Finish. It's fine. Oh, you're so smart. I'm very happy. One day I'll get to where he is. But you know, right now, crisps. But right now, you know, we're learning, we're growing. So, so you talked about Jeremiah 29:11, right? How do you remind yourself that God has good plans for you? Because, like we said, remembering who you are and who you are in God enables you to worship Him better and to worship Him more consistently, right? So how do you remind yourself, like, yeah, God has a plan for me. He had a plan for me when I was born, and He has a plan for me right now, and He has a plan for me in the future. How do you remind yourself that God has a plan for you?
Well, I have, I don't want to say this is biblically approved, but I believe the theologians out there will stand to correct me. I stand to be corrected. But I believe I've come to a point where I'm starting to believe that most of the problems of this world are caused by man.
Right, I agree.
I've been in a constant meditation of the free will. And I got to realize that the free will can cause you to think you're a superpower. Yeah?
Or it can cause you to think you're nothing.
It's a blessing and a curse at the same time. Because the Israelites had clear cut. Hey, if you do according to what God has said, it will go well with you. Children, obey your mother and father, for this is the right. Is it the right thing to do? Or for this is the first commandment with a promise.
Yes, there we go.
This is the first commandment with a promise. And what is the promise? So that it may go well with you. But what do we do? Rebel. That's the truth. Been a teenager before. Young adult, I rebelled to a point where you disrespect your parents, but then you have to go back and apologize for it so that it may go well with you. Yeah, and it is very important to understand that every instruction given has a consequence if not followed. And we see all through the journey of the Israelites before the New Testament, consequences were there. A whole generation that was promised the promised land. Oh, did I just rhyme? That was promised the promised land.
That's alliteration.
Let's be like the promised land. The promise. You see, they were promised the promised land.
Yeah.
And they ended up not seeing it. As in, you wander in the wilderness for 40 years. And children who were born after the 40 years were the ones who saw the promised land. But the rest of these other ones died, 40 years and above. Died, apart from Caleb and Joshua, who remained faithful to the course that God had called them to.
Yeah.
As in, you look at this and you're like, wait, then what does the Bible really tell me? As a man, as a child of God, as a human being, there's an expectation of me to walk in obedience. Yeah? So then, the question is, how do you remind yourself to stay often, as in, remind yourself often to stay, that you are in the plan of the one you worship. And who do you worship? God.
God.
God has given you instructions.
Yep.
God has told you what to do.
How
And
to
most of the
live.
time people will say, how do you hear God? Okay, fine. You don't hear the physical voice of
Read
God?
the
Read the
Bible.
Bible. Every instruction is there. There are people who live as per the principles of the Bible, both new and old, and they thrive in this world. And you look at them and you're like, wait, these people fear God.
Yeah.
These people reverence God. These people worship God.
Yeah.
Daniel walked in fear of God. I remember this was the lesson last week when we were being taught about stewardship. Because stewardship is an element of worship.
Yeah.
You're given money, you're supposed to budget for it. Worship. You're supposed to create a plan for it. That is worship. That God, hey, I'm using my resources well in glory and honor of you. Yeah? But then coming to that place of reminding yourself is first you need to know. You need to know what is your plan. You might not get the clear cut of it, because the Bible says he is a light unto your path and a lamp unto your feet. Or is it
Switch.
switch? A light unto your feet and a lamp unto your, no, a light unto
A
your
light
path.
unto your path.
And a light and a lamp unto your feet.
Yes.
Yes. I was right. You're confusing me. Sibling rivalry. In intellectual ways.
Yes. No,
physically.
we don't. Yeah.
Yeah. So coming to that part of understanding, yes, I have this great vision. Yes, I have this thing that I want to do. It's in line with what God is instructing me to do. But between point A and point Z, there are other 24 letters that I need to be, that are like checkpoints in my life. Things that I need to learn, skills that I need to develop, things, you need to remind yourself, okay, fine, before I get to point Z, there are things that I need to do. So what is God saying? Where is God leading me to?
Yeah.
For example, you want to be a good speaker, public speaker. You haven't practiced speech
At
before.
all, yeah.
You don't practice voices. You don't talk to people. You are afraid. You are afraid of
when opportunities
people,
come up, you shy away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When people are given opportunities to, hey, can somebody pray for us? Or can somebody say vote of thanks? You don't want to take that opportunity. That means you have the plan, yes, but you're not constantly reminding yourself of it.
Yeah.
By reminding yourself is taking this opportunity, allow yourself to fail, yes, but God, hey, I'm determined and I know in this path I am learning, I am growing. I am taking every step in progression to where you expect me to be, to the ultimate goal, to the big picture, which is your plan for my life.
That was really good. I thought he was gonna keep talking. But yeah, so there you have it. I don't really have any more. I don't really have any more questions other than that. Yeah, that was worship, you guys. That was what it means to truly worship, how to do so without letting other voices and other things cloud your head and your mind and your soul, and how to remember who you are and who created you. So yeah, thank you so much for coming. It was wonderful having you here.
But I think it will end well if I share this.
Okay, sure.
I remember there's a time, it is in 2018, where I've always had this desire of helping people having this hub of people who want to do something for the society. Call it social enterprise. But then I didn't know how to go about it. And I have friends who do social enterprise initiatives. So I could find myself just hanging out with them, just listening to what they do. But then at some point this thing died off. Somewhere it died off. Then one time I was just seated and thinking through that, I was just thinking through life and stuff. I think I had hit a major point of depression at that time. I battled depression for like 2.5 years, and it's just a bad state of being. But then I'm glad that I healed through. And how did I heal through? I got this revelation that I had a plan. Rather, God had a plan for me, and this plan was clear,
Concise.
on how it's supposed to be. Clear. So I wrote it down. I remember we had gone to to the prayer mountain in Nakuru, Heaven's Gate. Very nice place. And this plan came out, so I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I put it in between my notebook and just put it there. 1 year down the line, I was reminded of the plan again, and I went and I saw the name, the title of the name, and I was like, wait, I'm out of high school for, now it's 11, it's 12 years.
Yep.
12 years since the time I was in high school. But then the time that I had that name of that initiative was actually 13 years ago now. 13 years ago now, and I was reminded of it, the plan and all, a year ago, and I wrote it down completely, and now is when it's being activated.
Yeah.
I was like, wait,
Hold
this
on.
depression thing is dying, because depression is a state of hopelessness. But now there is something called hope. And one thing 2020 has taught me, when COVID started and it's still on,
Yeah.
social distance, keep safe.
Please wear a mask.
We stay in the same house.
We're fine. We're fine.
So, when COVID hit, there was a lot of hopelessness that was there. But one thing that kept me in check was the fact that I remembered that, hey, the narrative out here is bad, but there is this thing that God desires of me to work on. I reminded myself of that. I kept on pushing and learning all the knowledge that I have of social enterprises, which is not much. I'm still learning. And how to get these people on board. And my sister is one of the prototypes. She took part when I was doing the prototype stage. And it's just interesting how keeping in check with what God has said, and because I reverence God, I desire to always be in His plan. That's the truth. I love what God has done in my life, and I believe in constant reminder of what He has planned for me. In return, I am worshiping Him in obedience.
Very proud little sister. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me and my brother in this conversation that honestly would have probably happened on its own. But yeah, we got to film it, so I'm glad that you've gotten to see it and be a part of it. I am constantly asking him for advice about life and things, so I'm glad I got to share that with you guys today. I will ask you to leave. You're a guest. I will ask you to leave. Yeah, thank you so much for watching 1320. Clap for my brother, everybody. Woo!
Nimpewa lifti alafu napiga honi.
Yeah, we will see you. I will see. He's not coming back. I will see you next week. Bye. Intro and outro. Okay, I'm pretty sure I can beat your chocolate paper scissors.
Never have you ever.
Yes, I can. I promise. Okay.
Cheating.
No, not cheating.
Rigging.
No, just knowing how you're gonna play.
Is this scripted?
No, if it's scripted, you would know.
Okay.
Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, wait. No. Best two out of three. Okay. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. No! Oh my gosh! Okay, wait.
I win.
Okay, no.
2 out of 3.
No, best 3 out of 5. Best 3 out of 5.
Okay.
Okay. No, I'm scared. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Okay, so we're tied. Okay. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
3. I told you. Never has she ever.
That was unfair.
And that was 1320.
I don't know how he did that.
With my sister.
I don't know how
who
he did
lost.
that. I don't know how he did that. I'm still sad.
Woo!
Have a
Yes.
good week, everybody. Don't
Peace
play
out.
rock, paper, scissors with your older siblings. It won't end
We
well.
always win.
It won't
We
end
have
well.
seen it before you have come.
Yeah.
We have won it.
Bye.
Aha.
Bye.
Comprende. Bye.